news about tariffs over the weekend. We'll talk about this. And then this morning, news from OPEC and oil crashed. Actually, the news were yesterday, but oil crashed 4%. So a lot going on. Also, news from Warren Buffett. My gosh, we have a lot to talk about. So with that, let's get started. And welcome to Coffee with Markus and Mark. And today is Monday, May 5th. And in this show, we are going to talk to you about what's happening in the markets and how we are trading it. Gosh, Mark, super excited. Today, May 5th. Let's see, where is my iPad? It's gone. There it is.
There we go.
And in honor of Cinco de Mayo, I just thought I'd dress up a little bit. All right.
Nice.
Try to unsee this. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Okay, let's talk about the markets. And wow, the S&P 500 had a historic run over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, just a huge run up there, and it's been nice. It's been nice with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 consecutive trading days higher. Maybe though that streak is in jeopardy today. We'll have to see.
We have to see. I mean, 9 consecutive days higher. The last time we saw this was in November 2004. So it has been more than 20 years ago. And with this really nice move higher, the market now clawed back all of the losses that happened after April 4th, Liberation Day, Tariff Day, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So it felt like a huge panic just a couple of weeks ago, but right now we're back to where we were before all of that panic, and there's a lot still that could move the market.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are traders focusing on this week? First of all, let's hop over to the economic calendar. And actually, let's go to the earnings calendar because we see that we are towards the tail end of earnings. However, still a lot of companies reporting earnings this week. Last week, definitely the most companies in the S&P reporting earnings. Now this week, another 97 stocks. So if you look at the last 3 weeks, these are basically the busiest earnings weeks. Now, this week we have more of, kind of the usual, like the Magnificent Seven is out of the way. NVIDIA is still reporting. But today after the bell, we have Palantir. Then we have Duke Energy. We have AMD, Uber, ConocoPhillips. So we have Disney reporting, Electronic Arts. We have a little mix of everything this week.
Exactly. A lot of well-known companies, just not the big players. I mean, Marriott. You have. Well,
Ford.
let's just leave it at that. Yeah. I mean, so like big companies, but just not the huge guys that we've had over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I mean, earnings season this time, this quarter is really a little bit different because a lot of companies are not providing any guidance or pulling guidance because, I mean, how would they know what's happening with tariffs? I mean, nobody knows what is going to happen after Trump announced tariffs against the whole world. A few days later, he announced a pause of 90 days. And over the past couple of weeks, we kind of had no news around tariffs. And this is where all we hear from the White House is, oh, yeah, we're about to announce something. We're about to announce something. We have deals coming. But nothing has been announced yet.
Yeah, and over the weekend, with an interview with President Trump, he even mentioned that there are no plans to talk to China's president. So, that just creates a little more uncertainty. What's really going on? What comes next?
Yeah, and I mean, this were instead of removing tariffs, this were let's just refresh this here really. Over the weekend, Trump orders 100% tariff on foreign-made movies to save dying Hollywood. And I mean, no details here. How exactly does this work? But we know that it does impact this morning. Let's just hop over to the heat map. It does affect streaming giants, like, for example, Netflix. We see Netflix down, we see Disney down. Disney not hit as hard, and earlier I think they were down 3 and 4%, clawing back a little bit right now.
Yeah, I mean, market in general, clawing back some after. It seems like there was a report that helped things a little bit, but also after that gap down and rocky start, it looks like markets are starting to drift back to fill that gap.
Yeah. On the economic calendar this week, also a big one. We do have the Fed meeting on Wednesday. And this is where at first the interest rates are being announced and the Fed is expected to hold steady. Then there will be a statement from the Fed at the same time. And then 30 minutes later, Powell will grab the mic and there will be a press conference. And I believe there will be a lot of questions about tariffs, about Trump firing shots against Powell. So I think even though right now traders are factoring in, well, the Fed are keeping rates the same, only a 3.1 probability that they lower rates. I think it'll all boil down to what Powell has to say.
Yes. So 2-day policy meeting beginning tomorrow and then wrapping up on Wednesday. And I mean, this is where there's a lot that could be addressed in the policy statement and that Q&A. Will, is tariffs a bigger concern right now? How long is it expected? Is it transitory? Is it, what about this recession idea, right? Negative GDP. Are we on track to see 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP? And what will the Fed do if that's the case? So there's a lot on the table to address, and probably not a whole lot that's going to be clarified, but that's where investors get excited when you get those keywords and trading around some of his comments.
Yeah. All right. Also today, crude oil making a move. So if you look at a 5 minute chart of crude oil, we see that overnight crude oil has been dropping, now trading at $56. And this is all due to an OPEC meeting that happened yesterday.
Yes, OPEC increasing output again. So that just means there's more supply. And if economic situations deteriorate, less demand, because that interest in crude oil is always tied to economic activity, especially, China, a big consumer of crude oil, of course. So this was a big surprise, in futures were down 4% overnight. This morning it looked like we were coming off of those lows, and it was actually not that bad, but pulling back about 1% from where we started the day.
Yeah, and I mean, we haven't seen crude oil prices that cheap since 2021 when we came out of the pandemic. And I also draw the line here. Usually we saw some longer term support around $65, and this has been broken a couple of weeks ago. And now previous support now seems to act as resistance.
See if we could get back there.
Yeah. All right, more news over the weekend. Warren Buffett is stepping down this weekend. There was the Woodstock for Traders, the annual shareholders meeting of Berkshire Hathaway. And Warren Buffett shocked everybody by saying, I'm stepping down. I mean, it has been in the making. This is here where we see Greg Abel will be the new CEO, and I mean, there's no surprise. He has been groomed for many many years. Buffett has announced it several times and said, "Yeah, Abel will be his successor." But kind of a shocker that Buffett said by the end of the year, "I'm out."
Yeah, and this is just confirming that he's ready to pass the torch. And I mean, he started his company in 1965. It was a textile company. Now it's the eighth largest company in the U.S. And he's been able to make double the returns of the S&P 500 over those years, which is very impressive.
I would say a little bit more because the S&P since 1965 rose 39,000%. His shares 5.5 million percent.
That's
So,
compounding, though.
okay. And what were you referring to?
Well, hey, I pulled that from a quote. So
Okay,
I think it's the compounding effect, right?
fair enough.
Because if you're averaging 20% a year rather than 10, or 16 rather than 8, that compounds over 60 years. That's huge.
Yeah, long story short, he has outperformed the broad market for many years. As you said, as of this morning, he's sitting at number 8. It says here still number 7 hasn't been updated because this morning Berkshire Hathaway sliding 5%, which is big for BRKA. That is the symbol. Let me just bring it up here. Hello, there we go. BRKA. That's a pretty big slide for Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway company.
It is. It is. This almost seems like a nice buy the dip opportunity for anybody that wanted to a play that they were holding for months or years. Just because it was always expected that at some point he has to hand things over, and it also seems like unless Mother Nature has any part of this decision, it also sounds like he's not going anywhere. At least not right now. He's just
Right.
made the commitment to hand things over.
Yeah. By the way, while we are still recovering in the major indices, on Friday, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway made new all-time highs. Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, look at that.
I mean, he's positioned correctly. All right. What else do we have? Well, let's actually see and let's hop over to our positions and see what we are trading right now. And first up, WTF. So, win the fear. There are no signals here whatsoever. Not too surprising. After 9 days of straight moving higher, I mean, what fear is there to win, right? I mean, if we say win the fear, there must be some fear in the markets, and there has absolutely been none. In fact, if we hop over and look at the fear index, the VIX on a daily chart, we see that the VIX has been dropping, coming off a level of 60, now trading this morning just shy of 23. So fear has left the building. Therefore, nothing to win. And to win the fear, we don't have anything going on right now.
Yeah, and this is where it's a strategy where we have to wait for those pullbacks. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the wheel because we do have some action there. So quite a few positions that we are in. First up, CSIQ. CSIQ had a phenomenal run in the past couple of weeks. If you look at this here, how much did we go up from here to here? 75%. Now consolidating a little bit right around the $9.50 level. And for
Yep.
me, it looks like coiling up for the next move higher.
It looks like that's what's happening. We had about a 50% pullback from the recent highs that we've had, and then just looks like a support level there. So I think it's ready to go back up, tackle those highs.
Yeah. All right, HAL Halliburton this morning down because crude oil overall is down. So Halliburton in the oil and gas industry or energy and oil industry also being dragged down. This is where, Mark, I'm considering flying another rescue mission here.
I mean, this is one where there could be more negative news impacting crude oil, and there's a little more downside to crude. So short term, you could get some pops lower, but I do think that longer term, we're set up to get a rebound here. So oil and gas services, it's not like they're going away, but higher price crude oil definitely helping. Because of course, when oil and gas or crude oil in particular is higher price, there's more incentive for new exploration and for these services companies to do well.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens here. Right now, I'm keeping an eye on this, possibly flying a rescue mission. IWM, the Russell, working out beautifully. So as we can see, this is where our cost basis is 199.75, our break even 194. We sold calls against half of our position, and this happened last week. And then on Friday, we decided to roll the calls into this week and collect even more premium.
Yeah. So rolling those for $2.25 on Friday. That's 51% annualized based on time to expiration and the period held and that premium that we've received. I also did something a little different, Marcus, because I sold the 20250 calls as well. Got a buck 50 there. So I have the 200s and also the 20250s.
Yeah, I haven't sold those yet. I'm waiting for a little pop here and see if I can get more than $1.50, even if I can get $1.55. How much are they right now, Mark?
Oh, let's see.
Yeah.
And good luck. Good luck on that.
Hey.
It it looks like right now they're going for about a buck 30. So you're
Okay.
not too.
A
You're,
little pop for me, and then I just want to beat you by nickel. Okay. Colts, yeah, I mean, Colts seem to have found some support at 6, but also as long as we have the tariff uncertainty, Colts is probably not going to pop. But as soon as we see that there's some deals announced, I believe that Colts will quickly pop above 10 again. Because right now, this is here the drop that we saw on April 4th, right? This was based on earnings. We had a little bit more drop. So I believe that we are going back towards these levels where we were earlier when we rebounded after earnings before all the tariffs talk started taking place.
yeah, it looks like it's right up there and has that potential.
Yeah. Next up, Merck, a position that I'm in today, a little bit down. And this is where Merck, super interesting because right now we have two possible support levels, one around 76. So I'm interested in possibly selling puts at 76, or if we stay around this level, around the 83. So if we are staying in this range, I'm interested in selling puts at 83. So this is a part of the rescue mission because I've been trying to fly a rescue mission a few times, have collected around $8.25 in premium 26. You get the idea. So my break even at 111. And right now I'm planning to bring my cost basis and break even down here.
Sounds good.
All right. UPS, with all the tariff uncertainty, also UPS not going anywhere anytime soon. Today, down 0.6% with the overall market. And this is where, as a shipping guy, a giant, right? If you hear that the whole world might come or might slow down when it comes to trade, that's obviously hitting UPS. We see when the tariffs have been announced, UPS had a significant drop from 112 to 95. And right now, I mean, before we hear any news about deals being announced, UPS will probably linger right here between 95 and 100. But I'm pretty sure that we quickly pop up 110 once there's more certainty of what deals will be in place.
Yeah, that would be the goal here. Nice range. Let's just start heading back up.
Yeah. All right. MU, Micron Technology, that is the stock that you're having fun with. Fill us in.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I was assigned. My cost basis ended up being 73.75. So 74 is where I started selling calls. I did that for a couple of weeks, also selling calls at a higher price so I could capitalize on a move higher. Well, last week I was able to roll out my 79 calls. I got some nice premium there. A buck 36, which was equivalent to 74% annualized. I did get called away on half of a position though at 74. So I decided not to roll those 74 calls. And this means I'm in half of a position with the 79 that expires this Friday. We'll see. I might be able to roll those out again. They might expire worthless. Just have to wait and see what we get as we approach Friday's expiration. But I do have the potential to go in at a lower price if the stock pulls back a little bit, since I'm only in half of a position, or ride it up if it continues to move higher. And with a half of a position open, I mean, right now, it's kind of a win-win for me, Marcus, because I can keep managing MU, but I also am keeping an eye on XLE, to be honest.
Yeah, XLE, another position for us that we might trade because that is the energy sector index fund here. And this is where we might see some great opportunities coming up. Maybe being able to sell puts somewhere around here, maybe the 77, right? I mean, that's one of the things that we are keeping an eye on.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's see what happens in the market here. And just in a moment, we'll see, because there is some movement. As said, we had a report coming out earlier providing some movement. But also know, Mark, that last week I forgot about the dad joke and closed the show too early. And we received several comments where you said, "You're missing our dad jokes." So here we go.
What's wrong with you?
I
That's
know.
viewers missing our dad jokes. That's not you. No. All right, here's one for you, Marcus. How can you tell if a tree is a dogwood? The bark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, wait. Since we missed out on one last week, here's another one.
Okay.
You know, I've been shaving my head for years. Did you know I still keep a comb? I just can't part with it.
2 weeks, right? 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks. That's all you got. All right.
Your turn, Marcus.
What's Forrest Gump's password?
2 weeks, Marcus. 2 weeks.
One Forrest one.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Come on. All right. Maybe we go back to the markets and see what's happening there. So, all right. 5-minute chart of the S&P. We started lower here this morning, and then right now trading at day's high, still negative for the day. The Dow has turned positive. We are up 0.1%. The S&P still down 0.3%. The Nasdaq down 0.45%. Mark, what do you think? Will we break the 9-day win streak today, or will the S&P be able to rally another 0.3% to make it 10 days?
You know, I've said this over the last week or two, and that is, it looks to me like the markets want to move higher. So it looks like the win streak can continue. Granted, we still need to see some upside, but I don't think that there's anything. There's no clarity right now on the tariff situation, but it looks like investors want to be a buyer right now. So unless there's some negative news that comes out, and especially tariff related, since we've already had earnings pre-market, and then there's a Fed Wednesday, I think we could drift into positive territory and see an extended.
I don't think today is the day. I don't think today is the day. I think today we will snap the 9-day win streak. We will finish negative. And you see, I also brought up the 200-day moving average. So we are getting close to the 200-day moving average. And we know that this can be, as we saw here, some major resistance. So we'll see. We're still ways away from it. But I don't think that today markets can turn positive. I think the S&P 500 stays negative today.
All right, let's see.
We'll see. All right. Well, I hope that you enjoyed today's show so that you know what's going on in the markets. If you did, do us a favor and share this with others who might find this helpful. There's probably also a way to like it. We'd really appreciate that. And with that said, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you again next week.
Happy trading, everybody.